Hey friends, it's Miss Couch, your teaching artist from KidSmart, with one more visual art lesson for this school year. In my last video, I showed you how to make mini books by folding a piece of paper and making one simple cut so that you could refold the paper and make a book of any kind. You could fill it with a story, you could fill it with facts or lists, you could fill it with your own imagination and drawings, whatever you want to do. That got me thinking about other ways we could fold paper to make some useful items. Now, this paper folding is called origami. It's an ancient Japanese art and it's a form of sculpture. So I'm going to show you and explain to you 3 objects, and then I'm going to give you several links to look at to learn how to make them and to learn a little bit more about origami and a book to read or listen to and other activities you might enjoy. Those will be in the second section in the links. All right. Of course, supplies needed, paper. All you need for origami is a piece of paper. Unfortunately, it does need to be a square piece of paper. So really quick, I'm going to show you what to do if you have a regular piece of paper. All right, regular piece of paper. I cut this off, but how did I know where to cut it off? Easy. I took this top corner here. I made a very sharp point and I put these 2 edges of paper together, and then I folded tightly and just use the scissors to cut off the extra. And that'll show you that in the videos too. It'll show you an option for tearing the paper and for cutting the paper. All right, object number 1. It's a paper cup. Super simple and so practical. You can use this to drink water from a sink. If you were in Miss Fife's class with Miss Couch, you made this cup with me. We did drink water out of it, but you could put anything in it. So let's pretend that it's next year in the fall and you brought something awesome, a delicious snack. Maybe in your book sack you have a bag of Takis or gummy bears, and you were thinking, man, I was going to give this bag of gummy bears to my teacher because I know it's her favorite, but I kind of like them too, and I kind of don't want to give her the whole bag, but I can't just open the bag and put half of them on her desk because that would be gross. What can I do? Well, you can sit down, turn a regular piece of paper into a square really fast, fold this in about 5 folds, fill it up and be like, hey teacher, I know you love gummy bears just like me, so I've got you some in this handy little cup I made. And you can put it on our desk and keep the other half for yourself and enjoy those gummy bears whenever you want. That won't get you into trouble. So that's video number 1 we watch. Video number 2 is a fortune teller. And if you do not know about these fortune tellers, Couch is about to lay it on you. These fortune tellers were so super popular when I was in middle school, and that was a long time ago. How long ago could it be, Miss Couch? You might be thinking. Well, so long ago that they now make TV shows set in that time period. That's right. Stranger Things is set in the years that Miss Couch was in middle school. Season 1 is 1983, season 2 was 84, and season 3 is 85. Those are the exact years that I was in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. And we were definitely using these fortune tellers all the time. So here is how they work. You can see the outside flaps have words on them. They're colors. I have blue, green, red, and yellow. You ask your friend to pick one. Say they choose red. Then you go R, E, D. Now they have to choose a number. Let's say they choose 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now they choose one more number and that's their fortune. So let's say they choose number 1. All right, here's what it looks like inside, friends. Inside are the numbers, and you can see I didn't write them in order. You don't have to write them in order. You don't even have to use these numbers. but please use these numbers, because if you start putting giant numbers in here, you have to open and close your hand that many times and your hand will start to hurt if you start like counting out 25 times. No, don't do it. All right, and my friend chose number 1. So you can see in here is writing. Every number has a fortune. And my friend chose number 1. Her fortune is you will live a long life. All right, I will give you a link to a video that will show you how to make that. Last item. This is a note that folds into its own envelope. These were also super popular in the time that Miss Couch was in middle school. We would put them in our friends' lockers or pass them in hall during passing periods when we're going from class to class. That was the easiest thing to do. Sometimes people would just stick them like in the side of somebody's locker. That's super risky because someone could totally grab it that was not your friend and get into your business. And another thing we might do, which was a very poor choice, a very risky choice, a very foolish choice, we'll try to pass it in class. So you can see it has words up here in the corners. From my initials to friend. Well, if you pass this in class, number 1, somebody might just keep it. Number 2, a teacher might grab it and open it up and read it out loud to the whole class. Yes, that is what teachers did back in the day. So I'm going to pull open and show you what's inside. All right, so there we go. Inside is a picture that I drew. Now, really and truly, this is a note, but the note is all the way inside. But I might try to trick my teacher by putting this picture inside so that she might just think it was some art and maybe just throw it away instead of, you know, reading out loud to everybody. And this is kind of what Miss Couch looked like in middle school, maybe. Ooh, I wore contact lenses then, no glasses. So me with the ponytail, and then maybe next to me with twists. That might be my friend Donna. Shout out to Donna Bateman if you're watching this. She's my friend on Facebook, and we've been friends in real life since 2nd grade. She was in Girl Scouts with me, so that might be her giving it a wink and a side eye. I don't know. She could be just showing off her eye makeup. All right, now here we go on the inside. Here's the note that I wrote. I wrote it in green marker on green paper, so maybe a teacher wouldn't know it was in there and wouldn't open it. But of course, Donna, she would know. She would open it. All right, so there's my note, and it basically says, "Hey friend, everything's crazy right now. I totally miss you. I miss hanging out with you. I miss going to school. I hope you're okay. My mom is a good cook, so we're all gonna live right back." All right, now I'm going to switch to sharing the screen, and we're going to go through all of those links. Here we go. Here is link number 1. Oh, share. This is going to, the guy's going to show you how to, he folded the triangle, and now he's got the little flap on the side, and he just tore it off just like that and got rid of it. And he is going to show the folds that make the paper cup. Super easy. That's fold number 1. There's fold number 2. Then it just has 3, 4, and 5. You're done. So simple. All right, next video. Here we go. This one is showing us how to cut that flap off. She already folded up the triangle along the side, and you can see she is cutting off that flap, and she's going to make the fortune teller. And she, instead of writing the words on the outside, just put the colors on the outside. So that's an option. You could just put colored dots on the outside instead of the words. All right, now here's the third video. This is the one that's the note. It uses the whole rectangle piece of paper, so no scissors needed. And all three of these videos have no sound, no words. They have music. You can just watch them. You can watch them several times until you get it right, and you can practice folding and make all three of those items. Then I included another link. This is from a website called Art Class Curator. It has the definition and history of origami really briefly, and then it has a couple of videos. So this one right here will show you some people doing master origami, giant pieces of paper folding. And then down below just a tiny bit, here's one that's about the math and magic of origami. Super cool video. Origami is all about geometry, the secrets in the math. So I think you will enjoy those two videos that are on that link. Next, oh my gosh, y'all. This is a great book. I read this book when I was in junior high. The librarian at the public library said, Kelly, this book came in yesterday. It's so good. I read it last night. Now you check it out and take it home. You're going to love it, but you should know it's super sad and you are going to cry. So I did take it home and I read it and I loved it. And because our libraries aren't open right now, I'm including 3 links on YouTube where a teacher reads it out loud to you. One link is chapters 1, 2, and 3. The second link is chapters 4, 5, and 6. And the third link is chapters 7, 8, and 9. That's it. That's the whole book. You'll listen to it in less than 40 minutes. Then if you like that, or if you don't feel like a book and you just would rather have a little documentary that is based on a true story, and the story inspired a piece of sculpture. If you remember, a couple of times we've talked about one piece of art inspiring another. So in this true story, a girl, Sadako, is inspired by a legend. A legend is a form of storytelling art. She's inspired by the legend of 1,000 paper cranes. That story, her story, is written into a book. That book inspired, well, that book and the true story of the girl's life inspired an artist to make a sculpture that is called the Peace Sculpture, which is in Japan. So all those artists inspiring each other, and then that inspired a documentary maker to make this documentary, which you can watch. The link is included for YouTube. Next up is here we go. This is a link, and it's a set of activities that go with the book Sadako and the 1,000 Paper Cranes. The packet was put together by a group of theater artists, a troupe, you might say, once again inspired by this true story of Sadako, the book by Eleanor Korn, the legend of the 1,000 Paper Cranes. They created a play which they were touring around a group of schools, and they made this packet for teachers that were reading the book and doing activities, and they included this list of other books that you might enjoy. So hopefully it won't be too long before our libraries reopen. You might be able to find some of these books at the New Orleans Public Library. You might be able to find some of them being read aloud on YouTube. You might order one on Amazon if it sounds good to you. But you can go through this whole packet in this one link, and you can learn how to write a haiku. You can follow the instructions to make your own paper crane, which is a little advanced origami, but it can be done. That, I believe, is all the links that I have for you. All right. I miss you all. I have been missing you all since March. I can't believe it's the end of the school year. I can't believe this is my last video for you, but I hope you have a wonderful summer, and I hope you listen to the adults in your life because they want you to stay healthy and safe. So even though the city is opening back up and the playgrounds are opening and there are some more things for us to do, we still need to wear masks. We still have to wash our hands very often in the day. We have to carry around some disinfectant with us, not just some alcohol for our hands, but we need to carry around wipes to wipe off things. If we go to a playground, we need to wipe off the things that we're touching on the playground. We need to carry that disinfectant with us and keep ourselves safe and our family members safe. Just because the city is opening up doesn't mean it's time to go run over to your friend's house without a mask and start running around wild. That is dangerous. Listen to the adults that are giving you good advice on staying safe. Your safety is the most important thing to all of us, because this disease is not gone. We just know a little bit more about it, and we know more ways to stay safe. So listen to the grown-ups when they tell you to wash your hands. Listen to the grown-ups when they tell you to take your vitamins, drink water, disinfect this or that, eat healthy foods. These are all super, super important. And they wouldn't be bothering you with it if it wasn't important. If we didn't know how dangerous this disease was, we wouldn't cancel school. We wouldn't do school online. I promise you, it's all because we love you and we want you to be safe. I wish I could give you all a hug, but for now, I will just say goodbye, artists. Have a wonderful summer. Exercise your brains. Be creative problem solvers like I know you are.